Hey guys, what's going on? Absolutely Beast here, bringing you guys a race on Forza 6. This is my final race in this career chapter, so I was just finishing this up. So first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys. Those of you who saw my Forza 7 reaction video, the response has been overwhelming. For me to sign on and see how many views I got in 24 hours blew me away. And my first thought, I want to clear some up though. My first thought was, why would they have so many views? What made that special? And then my heart kind of sank, and I just wanted to say I hope that didn't come off or seem as if like a clickbait type of situation. It was absolutely not my intention. I was just really excited and wanted to talk about Forza 7 and sort of my thoughts on it and my reaction to the trailer and the reveal and all that kind of stuff. And considering that my channel is basically based around Forza, I thought that was appropriate, but I absolutely did not mean to like clickbait the title or make it seem like I had played the game or like I had some sort of insider information or something like that. So but anyway, thank you for that support and thanks for being back again. So this is just on the Circuit of the Americas, so you might see a little bumping here and there because it is a career race, and I'm not gonna like that got totally taken out. So I'm not gonna hit people on purpose. That's not how you race, and I don't race like that, even though these are just computers and they're not actual people. But if I hit someone, I'm not gonna like stop and like right there. I tapped that guy and then I just moved on and just kept going because it's just a computer, it's not a person. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I watched basically I watched a video about Forza 7, and I watched a video a couple months ago about Forza Horizon 3 when it was a side by side from 1080p to 4K on the PC, and the 1080p was on an Xbox, and it absolutely blew me away. So I'm just, a little bit of, just a quick bit of technical detail before I get into that. It's important to know that 4K, with this has not been an issue before, but it's because the differences haven't been so great. But now that the difference is so great between 1080p and 4K, it's important to know that not everything supports, a lot of stuff doesn't support 4K, and I'm not even talking about like, 4K TV or 1080p TV. I'm talking about like, down to the HDMI cable you use, down to the Xbox you have, down to the PC you have, or the monitor you have, or whatever. There's very few ways to get an actual true 4K signal. For me personally, I've had my 4K TV for several weeks, and the first thing that I watched in 4K was the Xbox reveal, was the whole Microsoft briefing in 4K. Because I haven't been able to get it through my computer, because my computer only supports HDMI 1.4, which is the older generation of HDMI, not the high-speed 2.0 that you need to watch 4K. Even though I have the Xbox One S, I have not watched a 4K Blu-ray. It makes no sense to me to buy one of those, especially since I'm not the person that watches movies more than once. As soon as I watch a movie once, I won't watch it again. There's no point for me. And I'm not going to spend $30 on a movie that I'm only going to watch once. Plus, a movie's only in 24 frames per second. And the YouTube app on the Xbox One S does not support 4K. So even though there are 4K videos on YouTube, and they're becoming fairly common, you can't watch those through the YouTube app on the Xbox because it doesn't support 4K. And on top of that, even if it did support 4K, even in like on a PC, there is compression that they use for the videos, which means that it's not the raw, unfiltered data of 4K. It's a compressed down signal, so you're going to lose some of the quality. Not a ton, but I don't know what the percentage would be, but you're going to lose some of that quality. So, all that being said, if you think about, like we were thinking about the stream, and I was talking with my friends about it, and I said, the funny thing is that if they do showcase this Xbox Scorpio and it's in 4K, no one's going to even be able to tell the difference because they're only going to be watching the stream in 1080p, and even then, you're losing things from the stream. So even the Xbox Live Briefing stream, which is in 4K, is also has compression, so that's not going to look full 4K either. So that's going to be the difference. So Forza 7 is going to look absolutely epic, and that's the difference, is that the console is going to be native 4K. It's not going to be 1440 checkerboarded, which is a technique they use to sort of simulate full 4K, which is PS4 Pro uses that. It's not going to be an 1800p, also simulated to 2160. 2160 is 4K. So the PlayStation uses sort of like faux, they call it faux K. I've heard people refer to it as that, which is really funny actually. But that's the thing that he commented on, the technical director for Forza for Turn 10 Studios commented on that actually in the original reveal for the Scorpio, like when they were teasing it last year at E3, and he said something about the highest quality pixels, and you know, a lot of people made fun of him for that kind of a thing. Made fun of him. It basically turned into like a meme. And so what he was saying though was that, you know, even everything you see, even down to the most true form of a 4K media that you can get, which would be a 4K Blu-ray player, because it's actually playing off the physical disc right on the console, is not going to look as good because it's only at 24 frames per second. So when we're going to have this Xbox Scorpio, guys, when we're going to have this One X, it's going to look tremendous. You're not even going to be able to believe the clarity. You're not going to be able to believe the sharpness. You're not going to be able to believe the unbelievable crispness to the picture. It's going to look staggering. It's going to blow you away. It's going to knock you out of your seat. And all that being said, the game already looks great. So right there I just rewound because that guy, he steered the wrong way. I didn't anticipate right. Didn't anticipate correctly, and I ended up hitting him, so I knew I could get past him. So, but it's going to look staggering. There's no comparison to what something in true 4K is going to look like. And that's the funny thing, is that so few people out there have actually seen something in true 4K, because it's extremely hard. And so that's what we're going to be getting with the Xbox One X. And in a lot of ways, this is going to usher in 4K gaming. When you're talking about on a console now when you play a game on PC, there's actually a graphics menu you can pull up. You can actually manually adjust all the different settings for the graphics. And there's like low, medium, high, very high, and ultra, or something along those lines, you know, depending on the game. And so basically, as far as I understand, what a console runs at is usually a mix of, and there's, you know, there's 10, 12 different settings. So it's usually a mix of medium or high, depending on the game and what the developer wants to do. So when I saw this video from Forza Horizon 3, and it was that, so it was an Xbox One on the left, which is going to be 1080p, and we're talking a mix of like medium or high settings, and then on the right was a PC playing Forza Horizon 3 with 4K and high settings, at least, maybe even ultra settings in some. It looked tremendous. The difference was staggering, and that's watching it on a 1080p TV. The video itself was 1080p, and we're talking about YouTube compression, so it's not really going to be full 1080p either. And even then, I could notice a drastic difference. Like, I could read the license plate clearly, I could read the logo clearly, and I'm watching on a 43-inch TV from, you know, 6 feet away, so it's not a big TV. And I could read that. I could see the reflections off the window. The game just looked so much more smooth and crisp and clean. There weren't any, like, you know, muffled edges or anything. Every edge was really sharp and just really clean looking. And it just blew me away. And then they showed another clip that was of a McLaren, and I could read the McLaren logo in the engine bay through the back plexiglass on the back of the car. And I just thought, like, dude, if this is what we're in for with this console, I am so pumped. So pumped. And so, you know, and this is true, on a PC, it's very hard to run 4K. In fact, even the highest graphics card on the market, the GTX 1080 Ti, which is a $750 graphics card that you have to put in a computer. So even if you talk just graphics card and just the processor to run that, you're talking, you know, probably close to $1,500. You know, $1,000 to $1,500 PC. It just cannot run 4K at 60 frames per second. So rightfully so, some PC people were skeptical, and they were saying things like, you know, they were saying something like, Phil Spencer said this, and this absolutely made me laugh so hard and blew my mind. You know, Phil Spencer said a lot of people were saying initially, like, you're not going to get true 4K out of 6 teraflops, like, that's not possible. And he said, well, it is possible, and we know it's possible because that's what we've done. And I thought that was hilarious. So he was basically saying to the guy, you know, I thank you for your opinion, but literally that's the only reason we built this box. Like, we built this box to do that from the ground up, and it does do that. So the fact that you don't think it doesn't change the fact that that's literally what it is. And so I thought that was cool. So what I'm talking about is truly mind-blowing. If there's any of you that are going to get the X, I know I can't wait. I can't wait. I call GameStop repeatedly. I've called them so many times. I think they probably hate me by now because I just keep asking them when I can pre-order it, because I'm super, super, super hyped. So Make sure you guys check out that Digital Foundry video if you want to. It's their Forza 7 video that they just released in 4K. It's really cool. Thank you guys for checking this out. Make sure you check back soon for more content and check out the other videos on my channel if you feel like it. Thank you guys. Appreciate the support.